on my right there is Matt Cannon, the outreach coordinator. And to my immediate right is Michael Locke, the executive director. And today we're going to start with Matt. And he's going to bring us up to date on what happened with the trash.
Great, yeah, the Tour de Trash, first annual Harwich town-wide cleanup. We had about 100 volunteers come out on May 2nd on Saturday to the Monomoy High School. And there's a picture. That's the crew that kind of assembled this day. We had some volunteers who we've had through the trust for a few years clean up the roadsides by themselves, and we thought, you know, we could probably offer them some help this year. And so we had a couple volunteers. We partnered with the town conservation department and Amy Yazowski, and we have some AmeriCorps members in there. It was a great day. Again, about 100 people showed up to clean up the streets of Harwich. And we had some food for all the folks, and we cleaned up, we measured 700 pounds of trash alone, and about double the amount in recycling. So it was a great day. A lot of people didn't even know there was that much trash out there.
I was amazed. My neighbor was one of the ones, and he went over there, and he did the other end of Oak Street.
Oh, yeah.
And he said they had 2 or 3 bags.
It's amazing how it
I
adds
said, I
up.
don't see that much trash. He says, you don't, but it's all over the place.
It's out there, and it's especially on our conservation properties in the woods. A lot of nips, a lot of cigarette butts, lottery tickets, everything you could think of is out there.
Wow.
So great day. We hope next year more people will be involved as well, and it's a great community event.
It sure is. Anytime you get 100 people around, it's really good.
Yeah. Fantastic.
It was, yeah. Now, Michael, you have
a birding workshop we hosted. Yeah, it was great. Over the long weekend, Memorial Day weekend, on Sunday morning, we had Todd Kelly, who works with us, not only volunteering his time and talent to guide walks for us, but also he, in his day job, is an actual interpretive ranger for the State Department of Conservation and Recreation, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, primarily through Nickerson State Park. He's 12th generation Cape Codder. On top of that, he's got a lot of knowledge about all things natural history and wildlife. So he led a birding workshop for beginners.
Okay,
and
that sounds interesting.
It's fascinating, and about 30 people attended. It was at our largest preserve, the Bank Street Bogs Nature Preserve in Harwich Port. And there's one of the birds that people got a look at, eastern bluebird. These birds are cavity nesters, and along with some other species that can nest in nest boxes. You can see female bluebird on the top of the post there and a male bluebird on the box top. You get just a glimpse of one of the nest boxes, one of 45 nest boxes that essentially ring the perimeter of the 66-acre Bank Street Bogs Nature Preserve in Harwich Port. There's a couple other birds of the same species. These two, obviously different than bluebird. This is American tree swallow. So you've got some interaction there. Isn't that an amazing photo? These photos, by the way, the ones you saw just then, and these two of the tree swallow and a few more, all taken by Janet DiMattia. She's not only one of our volunteer nest box monitors, say that 10 times fast, but also one of our volunteer photographers. She's actually from Yarmouth. Look at that. She took that photo. I mean, that could be on National Geographic. That is, again, a tree swallow. What you can't see there, but you saw in the previous photo, is on the outside of the wings there and the back and neck is really a beautiful iridescent blue-green coloring that really catches the light. They're wheeling about right now, catching insects on the wing at the Bank Street Bogs Nature Preserve. And along with chickadee, there's our state bird, black-capped chickadee. Yeah. And look, you can see the individual primary and secondary wing feathers there outstretched. I mean, that's incredible. Again, Janet DiMattia's photography talent. And there's another great photo. You can see some of that iridescence. Look at that on the wings, the blue-green on those tree swallows, contrasted with the bright white necks and undersides. Putting together some nesting material for the box that's a little bit below out of the frame there. So folks got to see these birds and others and learn sort of the basics of birding, what to look for, shape maybe at a distance, perhaps bill shape or bill size, where they might be in the landscape, on the ground, perched atop a shrub, soaring overhead. All of those sort of characteristics are what is often called field marks for bird identification. And it was just a really enjoyable workshop. We hope to do it again in the future. In fact, you know, as part of our walk series coming up, we have a couple birding walks that are going to take place at the Bank Street Bogs Nature Preserve, led by volunteers from the Cape Cod Bird Club. But you can see the full walk schedule. I have a copy here, but you can see a full walk schedule at our website, harwichconservationtrust.org, or give us a call at 432-3997. If computers aren't your thing, we'll mail you a hard copy.
Very good.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun season of guided walks, including some good looks at birds at locations like Bank Street Bogs
Now,
Nature Preserve.
did that was that advertised that you were going to learn some of the bird calls?
Yeah, actually, he did go over.
Food and I'm hungry. I'm not hungry.
Yeah, he did talk a little bit about different bird vocalizations and what they mean. It was great. He's such a great teacher. He's so knowledgeable, and he just takes his time, and it's a real leisurely stroll or walkabout with him, learning about birding, or sometimes he leads wildlife tracking workshops, or sometimes orienteering. So he's been a great addition to our educational programming, and so we're lucky to have him.
Yeah, it seems that way. Very good. I hear birds all the time.
This time of year especially. Yeah.
And you wonder what they're saying to each other.
Right. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, but anyhow, next we have conservation.
Well, the herring are out and about, and Matt's been working on the herring count. You want to update us on that?
Sure. We have 1 week left of our volunteer herring count program that runs from April 1st to the end of May, June 1st time. And it looks like it's been, a pretty good year. A lot of the fish are kind of on their way back out to sea, the ones that have already spawned. And then in the fall, they're little. Oh yeah, that looks like maybe that's the
just
alewife.
Below the ladder.
Yeah. So a lot of them are falling back now. Our volunteers have had some hard time counting because there's this dance that's going on with the alewives and the bluebacks, two different species. The alewives come up sooner, and they're falling back the same time that the bluebacks are coming up. So it's an interesting dance. I hope some people got to see that this year at the Johnson's Flume. Is a great place to see it. The Stony Brook in Brewster was also a great place to see it. But that's our run here in Harwich. And look at that thing just fly over the water. They move fast once they're getting up. They want to spawn, and they want to survive. So it's been a good year. We had 60 volunteers again, about 25 from the high school. And it continues to be a great citizen science project.
Again, one of my neighbors is part of your.
Oh, great!
Part of that program. Great. That's fantastic.
So, that's good. So, and what's next now?
Well,
we
have an interesting opportunity for people to offer their thoughts on what kinds of open space they'd like to see protected in town through what's called a open space survey. This is part of what happens every 5 years. The town's open space and recreation plan is updated every 5 years, and that's underway right now. And what's involved in that plan? Well, it really identifies goals and objectives around what natural resources and recreational opportunities to protect and improve across town.
That has something to do with what land is available.
Mm-hmm.
You never know who owns something, but
Well, this is mostly directed at both already existing town properties, whether
Yeah.
they be for conservation purposes or recreation purposes, but also what the future might look like around those initiatives, conservation and recreation. What else would we like to see protected? What other recreational opportunities would we like to see enhanced or otherwise available in town? And so as part of that planning process, there's what's called a public survey piece. And it's just a series of multiple choice questions allowing the public, allowing respondents to weigh in on what they feel is most important. Is it more important for them, in their view, to protect land that helps protect the water quality of ponds or coastal water bodies, or maybe the drinking water supply, or preserve land that protects wildlife habitat, including wetlands or vernal pools, or perhaps preserve land that protects public scenic views or walking trails, or all of the above,
yeah.
as well as other questions around those items, and again, around what kind of recreational enhancements people would like to see in town. So that survey is going to be becoming available soon.
Now, who gets a copy of the survey?
Well, it's going to be available in hard copy at Town Hall, at the Town Conservation Department upstairs, second floor, but also universally available on the town's revamped website. That'll be happening probably next week. And I think that what Harwich Conservation Trust can also do for the town is we can try and distribute it or a link to that online survey through our email list so that people know when it's available, and then they can go to the town website and fill it out if they'd like. It's a great opportunity just to check in on where we are, where we'd like to go in terms of open space preservation and recreational facility improvement, or just planning in that direction. So yeah, just wanted to let everybody know it's coming
Sounds like
next week.
a good survey.
Yeah, I think it's pretty thorough and also straightforward.
You find some people who have land from this survey that you would be interested in?
Well, I think that if people with available land that they would like to see preserved in some fashion, either through sale to the town or trust, or by donation or conservation restriction, sometimes these surveys might inspire that conversation. But the door is always open in that regard.
Yeah, very good. Oh, now you have a paper there with a lot of...
Yeah, well, I just wanted to mention our next one coming up, one of our walks. It's really kind of interesting. Saturday, June 6th at 9 a.m. at the Bell's Neck Conservation Lands on the east side down Bell's Neck Road. It's called More Walk, Less Talk. I love that. Led by one of our volunteer walk leaders, Pat Cervantes. And then on Saturday, June 13th, we have a botany walk starting at 10 a.m. at the Bank Street Boggs Nature Preserve. That's led by environmental reporter Rich Eldred, who writes the environmental features for the Cape Codder newspaper. And then on June 25th, we have a wild, edible, and medicinal plants walk at the Bank Street Boggs Nature Preserve, led by Donna Wood Eaton, who owns Cedar Spring Herb Farm in Harwich. And then on Friday, June 26th, we have Birds and Butterflies of Thompson's Field. And that walk is led by the Town Conservation Administrator, Amy Wazowski. So you can see the variety. We've got more of an exercise walk on the June 6th, a botany walk June 13th, wild, edible, and medicinal plants on June 25th, and a Birds and Butterflies on the 26th. So check them out. They're on the website, again, harwichconservationtrust.org, or certainly we can mail you a copy you can put on your fridge. And it'll be fun. It's a great way to get outside, connect with others and exercise and learn a little bit about our wild neighbors. Yeah. So.
We got plenty of wild neighbors.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you again.
Thank you,
I
Paul.
appreciate the information, and we encourage everybody to take advantage of the survey and the walks and whatever else is out there. The bird that's coming up.
Birding workshop already took place, but we got these free walks coming up with a little more birding.
There you go.